Hey everyone, my name is Brendan and welcome back to the channel. And if you guys are new here, it's great to have you because Bitcoin has broken out of a very large squeeze on the one-day timescale. Celsius has officially paid off more than $500 million in loans to both MakerDAO and DAI, and the crypto lending platform VAULD has officially ceased withdrawals, and it looks like they might even get acquired by one of their competitors, Nexo. So there's a lot to unpack per usual in the cryptocurrency space, but I first want to dive into what's happening on the price chart of Bitcoin, because that's what a lot of us are concerned with. Are our assets going up or are they going down right now? And over the past couple of days, Bitcoin and really cryptocurrency as a whole has seen a really nice pump in the market. And this comes alongside NASDAQ bouncing off of this very popular support area that we've talked about several times on this channel, being that 200 weekly moving average, which is this yellow line as we're seeing right here. And if we want to zoom out, we can see that every time that NASDAQ has gotten close to this area, it has bounced since it really broke back above this from the 2008 recession. So this has been a popular area of support, and I think now more so than really any other time in Bitcoin's history, it's important to understand what's happening here, as Bitcoin is having a rough 80 to 85% correlation to NASDAQ and other popular indices. So with Bitcoin squeezing on the chart like we've seen it in the past couple of days, originally this looked a little bit bearish, right? Because what we saw is an initial breakdown and almost like a bull pull, or excuse me, a bear pull and a bear flag combo happening over here. However, this really turned into a total fake out and a bear trap. Because what ended up happening is, with a symmetrical triangle, we have to remember that these are relatively neutral formation patterns, meaning that they can lead about 60-40 in a single direction, but for the most part, they're still pretty neutral. And what they're meant to tell us is that there is a squeeze happening, and it's an indication that price is going to explode in one direction, and this is the warning sign for us. So with price exploding back to the upside, there's a couple of levels that we have to look at. Number one, we can list all of our different moving averages and we can see what's happening. We have broken above the 20-day moving average for the first time since the beginning of June. And next, we actually have the 50-day moving average sitting right above here, close to a very, very popular resistance level. Or, maybe not that popular. I would say main core resistance is going to be around 28,500. We can see that this was a very large consolidation range for Bitcoin in the past. However, when Bitcoin bottomed during the Terra Luna situation just a couple of months ago, it bottomed right around $25,000. And coincidentally, this is exactly where the 50-day moving average is going to be as well. So now that the squeeze is broken, we're back above the 20-day moving average, and we are starting to see a break in some popular resistance levels at the bottom of this Bitcoin range. We're not out of the clear yet. As you guys can see, there is a little bit of consolidation resistance left on Bitcoin towards the upper echelons of this 22,000, just below $23,000. But if we can break above that, I really don't see any reason that Bitcoin couldn't push back towards that $25,000 level. Now, again, we're going to have to keep an eye on what major indices and major price movements are telling us. But one of the really unique things that is happening over here, and maybe this will be a topic for its own video, is keep an eye on what's happening. And I've been telling the Crypt Nation people this. I actually just made a post about this in, I believe it was the newsletter, and an additional post on this yesterday in Crypt Nation. So if you're part of Crypt Nation, props to you. And if you want to join, there's a link to that in the description down below. But zooming out, Bitcoin looks like it is seeing some serious signs of life. We can see that this is roughly the area where we bottomed in 2018. In fact, we even bottomed at a higher area on the weekly RSI in 2020. And so this is some deep waters that Bitcoin is in, but arguably, one could say that the best areas of opportunity in the history of Bitcoin, at least during the last 5 years or so, was the 2018 bottom and the 2020 bottom. And guess what? We are looking awfully familiar, at least at the moment, to both of these zones. Now, I'm not saying the bottom's in. I think it's too early to say anything like that. But also on the MACD chart, this is showing us some pretty stark bullish divergence. And when I say bullish divergence, I mean we are now seeing not one, not two, but 3 higher swing lows on this weekly RSI. And what this is indicating to me is that every time we are moving down, every time the bears are trying to push things down, it does look like they are getting weaker and weaker and weaker on a weekly time scale. So clearly there's a lot happening behind the scenes of Bitcoin, and we need to break above 23,000 to not only get above this consolidation range, but also to get above this 200 weekly moving average that NASDAQ has used as support, but Bitcoin has still yet to do. In fact, we just rejected this area yet again yesterday. So it's proving that this is a key resistance for Bitcoin that it has to break. But above this, we can definitely see some clear skies towards $25,000. Now let's get into what's happening in the news over here, and we'll start with some of the positive stuff first, and what I think was maybe a catalyst to start having Bitcoin price move back upwards, at least over the past couple days. And that is that Celsius has now paid off the Maker loan, freeing up $440 million of collateral. This is a really, really big thing for I would say the entire industry, because Celsius is a major player. Obviously, the news of what happened with them and 3 Arrows Capital and all these other centralized lending platforms is pretty hurtful to the cryptocurrency market cap as a whole. Additionally, Celsius has now paid down $143 million in DAI loans since July 1st. So it looks like they are trying to make some serious pushes to get this debt off of their balance sheet and trying to get the cryptocurrency lending space on a better track, and really trying to recover themselves as a business model. The struggle here is that after you go through something like this, lending and borrowing has a lot of trust in it. And when you lose trust in something like lending and borrowing, it is really hard to gain that back. So I'm not sure if Celsius or a lot of these lending platforms that are centralized will ever fully get the trust back to them, just because after having insolvency and maybe halting withdrawals and things of that nature, it's a really big hit to an area that's supposed to not limit what you do with your money and how you take it and how you spend it. It's really the whole point of cryptocurrency is so that you can never be halted out of your account. And so when a cryptocurrency and a quote-unquote decentralized platform or decentralized pushing company tries to do something like this, it really puts a bad taste in everyone's mouth. Now, a very similar thing is happening over here with VAULD now, and it looks like their London-based rival Nexo. We've talked about Nexo several times on the channel, but they were trying to acquire, I think, Celsius earlier back, and now it looks like they want to get their hands on VAULD, who's another popular crypto lending platform. So what happened is they ended up halting withdrawals, I believe it was yesterday or 2 days ago. And when this happened, obviously people really, really don't like this in the world of crypto. We've talked about that before. But the main reason behind this is that they saw nearly $200 million in withdrawals in the last couple of weeks. So since June 12th. A lot of this comes from the 3 Arrows Capital liquidation and the fall of UST. Again, UST was really the catalyst that caused all of this. Now, companies and these platforms were being overzealous and leveraging positions in UST, so they did it to themselves by taking on money that they didn't have in the first place. However, UST really is the core cause of this domino effect, and it is unfortunate to see it continue even months after it happened. But we're still in the reality of the situation, and after seeing more than nearly $200 million in withdrawals, they are starting to have a little bit of internal issues. So now officially more than 800,000 people or 800,000 members are no longer able to withdraw their money, and this includes trading and deposits as well on the VAULD platform. So not what you want to see, not what you want to hear. I know a lot of people that use VAULD, including big influencers that have promoted it in the past for their staking programs and a number of other uses. And this is just a friendly reminder, I guess, that if you don't have your keys, then it's not your crypto. And if you're entrusting a centralized place or location with your keys, then it can ultimately limit exactly how and what you're trading, including even just getting your money out of there. So it's a little bit of a scary process. But as we do enter into the weekend, I think the big things for me is maybe watching for any kind of a retest of support or a retest of resistance on Bitcoin. Because Bitcoin, as I said, it needs to break above that 200-day weekly moving average, and NASDAQ certainly needs to hold above it, which it looks like it's doing for the time being. But only time will tell. I think we're going to get a lot more information as to whether the market is comfortable over the course of July. And as we start entering into September and August, things should become a lot more clear. So hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. Again, I make videos like this one every single week. We usually have about 2 to 3 coming out every week. So if you enjoyed this one and want to get more updates, make sure you hit the subscribe button, drop me a like, and let me know what you thought about the video in the comment section down below. And if you want to join Crypt Nation, there's a link to that in the description down below as well. So once again, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.